Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, back on the servers for Final Fantasy XIV, and I've ended up here in Eastern La Noscea in Wineport. And the reason why I'm in Wineport is because when I returned to Final Fantasy XIV, I came just after the content patch for 2.1, and I'm going to speak to I'm going to speak to Beth here, and Beth is going to give me a level 36 quest which actually arrived in patch 2.1 called Treasures and Tribulations, and in completing this quest you will actually gain treasure hunting abilities. This is true story. You will actually have the ability to find treasure maps and search for treasure in different zones in Final Fantasy. So we've got the first part, which is to speak to some chappie just down the road. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, even though this level is available for anyone who's level 36, because it came in patch 2.1, the likelihood is a lot of people that are level 50 will be picking this up. And also, if there are new players to the game, you don't have to wait till max level to get it. You can pick it up at level 36 while you're progressing through. And I would highly recommend that, especially if you're also leveling up a gathering profession, and you'll understand why quite shortly. So I find this digger right here. There we go. There I am on the map, and we have a quick little chat with him, and he is actually going to send us to our next area. So we just kind of go through a little wall of text, and now I've got to speak with some drunken fool in Upper La Noscea. So if I just use the map to identify exactly where he is, you can click on there. There you go. The nearest place for me will be Camp Bronze Lake. So if I just use my teleportation devices to go there, yep, I will zap there any single time. Now what I have noticed at top level in Final Fantasy XIV, at level 50, I've still got plenty to do. Because it's not just a simple matter of getting one character to level 50, because your character class has lots of different ramifications. Have you combined it with another class to create a job? You know, have you turned your Arcanist into a summoner? Have you turned your Conjurer into a white mage? All these kind of things. So you've got variations about what to do when you're at max level, as well as the max level content. And now you've got little fun things to do, like treasure hunting. So I've arrived at Camp Bronze Lake using my teleport, and then I'm going to find this dude who isn't too far away. He's just down the road here. We go past these water sprites on the left-hand side, and then you can just see him by the obelisk. There you go. There's that little obelisk there, and we have aled wine. We're going to go with something like that. Whatever. We'll call him Larry. Larry, if I can't get the pronunciation right. So we just speak to him, and it's quite clear that this guy is a little bit worse for wear. You know, he's had probably a bit too much Christmas cheer, and has decided to carry it way, way, way into the new year. But that's his prerogative to do so. Now we just got to go over here and have a quick look at this shabby treasure chest. Now it looks like somebody is also on the same job as myself, on the same quest line as myself. So we just right click onto the shabby casket, and then it's probably going to spawn a set of mobs for me to defeat. Now because the starting quest is level 36, that is actually the level of the mobs which attack you. So at level 50, they aren't going to provide too much of difficulty. Now, I myself am a healer, so I'm not an out-and-out DPSer, so my damage levels aren't quite that of you know, a marauder or something like that. I can probably just chop things up. But I'm not exactly helping myself, because I could go into cleric stance, and if I went to cleric stance, then it would actually swap my mind statistics for my intelligence statistics, and let's face it, I could always do with some increased intelligence. And what that means is my healing potential will actually swap with my magic damage potential. It's a very clever way of boosting a healer to do decent levels of damage. It could be adopted by other games, other MMOs. You know, some people get put off by becoming tanks and healers because they feel as if leveling up, their damages will be gimp. But what I really have to do is I just have to jump to cleric stance, and suddenly my high magic power for healing becomes high magic damage for mobs. So once they're dispatched, and they are dispatched, I go back to the shabby casket, interact with the shabby casket, and it will find 2 little objects inside which we're going to give to Drunken Larry, because that's what I've now decided to call him, because it's such an easier name to remember. Now, Drunken Larry kind of goes into a little bit of a ramble, and I mean a serious ramble, of a cutscene. So I'm going to leave that for you to decide whether or not you want to watch it. But we're going to bypass it in this video. I'm just going to edit it out. And if you want to see the guy just go a little bit stir-crazy, flinging his arms around and doing all manner of, well, juxtering, shall we say, then that's your prerogative to do. So there we go. That's a very simple quest to complete. So now I have those 2 treasure hunting abilities, and they are Decipher and they are Dig. Now, when you find treasure maps, you need to use Decipher to find where the treasure is hidden, and then you use Dig at the location of where you think the treasure is actually hiding. So how do I go about now getting myself hold of some treasure maps? Well, this is the intriguing thing, because you must have a gathering profession, which in this game is mining, fishing and botany, able to interact with level 40 nodes. So I spent a little bit of time getting my level 25 miner up to level 38, so I can now interact with level 40 nodes. And if there was a treasure map in the node, then one of those empty nothing slots would have treasure map, and it would have like secret next to it, and it'll flash, and it'll be all kind of, you can't miss it, put it that way. But it's mineable just like anything else. There will be a percentage based chance of you being able to successfully get it out. So by all means, use every necessary ability at your disposal to increase the percentage chance so you absolutely get it. Should you get it, it'll appear in your inventory. Use the Decipher code then, and it will turn it into a treasure map, a proper identified treasure map, and move the item from your inventory automatically into your key items. There it is. There is the deciphered treasure map, and it says that the treasure is in the central shroud. So let me bring up my central shroud map. There it is in all its glory, and then you've got to identify exactly where in the central shroud it is. So I zoomed in to be of a relatively the same level, and I decided that green tier was the place. That was the one that looked pretty much identical to the treasure map. So that is where I decided to do my farming, do my digging for the treasure. So I used my teleportation again, took me to, I think it's Branch Meadows, that's the nearest crystal, and I've got myself right here where I think X marks the spot. I now use the dig function, and there you go, it brings up the map automatically, and I have a look around. Bingo! Treasure found. I've got a treasure chest. Woohoo! Right in front of me. So I right click, but if you noticed, I've got out of my mining gear and I'm now back in my combat gear. I'm not taking any chances here whatsoever. I reckon that when you try and attempt to get the treasure, you're probably going to get ambushed by something. It's typical MMO sort of, fare, isn't it? Standard fare. And yes, I'm absolutely correct. Now, because the starting quest was level 36, these mobs too are also level 36. So I'm getting pretty much the basic level, the earliest level of treasure. So of course, depending on where I'm doing my farming, depending on where I'm looking at those nodes, if I'm going on to level 50 nodes, for example, then who knows what treasure may lay in the treasure box, in the treasure chest, because it could take you anywhere in any zone. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any set positions. I think obviously the treasure maps are set, but it's all random which one you probably get out of the node and where it takes you and whatnot. And as for the loot inside, can we absolutely say that it's fixed loot? It could be random loot, you never know. But these are things which we'll have to discover in time, I imagine. So I'm just putting every little sodding thing under the sun. So I'll just finish them off. And now I can go and right-click onto the treasure coffer and see exactly what I got. So first things first, I got 3,000 876 gold for successfully completing the treasure hunt. And then in my inventory, I got 3 high quality high ethers, which can restore it to 35% of your MP, up to a maximum of 160 points. So that's for a lower level, of course. And also I got a high quality piece of wood, walnut lumber, which is high quality as well. So I got a little bit, you know, but it's level 36 stuff and I'm level 50. So now I've got to keep on doing my mining, keep on boosting my gathering profession, and who knows, the higher the level of the node, potentially, the better treasure I can find. But that is how you become a treasure hunter. Can I say relic hunter? Please, because I love that show. Anyway, that's how you become a treasure hunter in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and also Twitch for live streaming. And I shall be back with more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.